back to Silverstone. It's time now for the final race of the season. Championship is still wide open. Marco Pullen still leads the championship, but he's starting way back in 22nd place after that disastrous qualifying. He needs a top 8 finish to win the championship, but if both he and Keith Webster don't finish, well, Keith wins unless third place man Alex Martin wins overall and gets fastest lap. It's exciting stuff. Let's go racing.
It certainly is, as we go in car with the championship leader Marco Pullen as he starts what will certainly be one of the most important races of his career. But on pole position we've got Don Grice with David back alongside him. Very good second position. Race 1 winner Justin Sherwood starts third and Gary Eastwood rounds out the second row of the grid. Tom Andrew down in 19th position, but he's had a fantastic season in the KTM Crossbow and a very deserved Group 3 champion. 26 cars taking to the start with Robert Koenig and Mark Charlton. I think we can expect to see a burn from the stern from the pair of them. So forming up side by side as the safety car pulls in. Rolling start as ever in the GT Cup Championship. Who will it be who gets jump off line? Will it be Don Grice in the yellow BMW? Will it be the black Ferrari of David Back? We'll see in a second as the lights go out. Away we go as they make their way towards Copse Corner for the first time. It is going to be David Back who leads into Copse as everybody else seems to make it safely through. A little bit of bravery on the brakes, some dust being kicked up, but no dramas to report as they all make their way up towards Beckett's. The first time asking, it's Don Grice who's got the lead from Danny Winstanley, and then it's Gary Eastwood who is trying to find his way around David Back, and Jim Geddy trying to do exactly the same. A wonderful field of cars as they safely negotiate Beckett's. There is Marco Pullen. He squeezes Chris Bentley as they make their way down towards Brooklands for the first time. Gary Eastwood to the inside of David Back. Is he going to find his way through? It's Rupert Martin just closing the door on Justin Sherwood, who seems to have had a wretched first couple of corners. Gary Eastwood flashing his lights as he goes through Luffield. I think it's just to remind David Back that he's there and he's trying to make his way through. John Wilson in the TVR very much in the mix as they stream through to complete the first lap of the race. There is Justin Sherwood, who still can't find his way past Rupert Martin, as Don Grice leading with Danny Winstanley looking very ominous on his tail. David Back doing an excellent job in third place, although he has got Gary Eastwood and Jim Geddy homing on his tail. It's Eastwood in the second of the black Ferraris and then Jim Geddy in the white machine as they go up to Beckett's once more. David Back getting on the power nice and early, and around he goes. A spin from David Back. He's a little bit straight. Oh dear me! An enormous incident there. It's Alex Martin who slams into David Back, and well, a lot of damage to both cars. The race leaders continue oblivious to the drama that's unfolded behind them. So Gary Eastwood promoted into third, Jim Geddy into fourth. We're in car with Alex Martin completely unsighted. Oh dear, an enormous incident there. The red flags unsurprisingly coming out. Well, that's good to see that Alex Martin is on his feet and walking away. And the same goes for David Back.
So that race has just been red flagged following an accident between David Back and Alex Martin. So that puts Alex Martin out of the championship running. So it's all still to play for the front running guys when this race gets restarted.
Well, the race about to restart, and it's now down to Keith Webster and Marco Pullen for the 2010 GT Cup Championship honours. But we've got this race to be decided first as well, as we have got a very enticing front row. Don Grice leading away from pole with Danny Winstanley to the inside as they plunge towards Copse Corner. Jim Geddy also looking to the side of Don Grice, who's had a rather poor getaway on that rolling start, and Grice has dropped several positions back. We'll see exactly where he's going to shake out as they make their way up towards Beckett's. It's Keith Webster who's in the lead of the race. Now this could be very interesting for the championship. So it's Webster who's leading the race, but more importantly he's leading Group 2. Now where is Marco Pullen? There's Marco Pullen at the very top of your shot in the orange and black Ferrari. He's gained some places, but he's still some way down the order as Jim Geddy pressurises Danny Winstanley. That is for second and third positions. Gary Eastwood has got Justin Sherwood in his tail. Justin, he made a slightly better start this time around, so he's into about sixth position. So very good to see the Marcus Manchester, Colin Simpson going well. Now here is Marco Pullen, Chris Bentley, the car in front of him. That is a Group 2 car, so he will be very keen to gain progress. There is Dan Norris-Jones, who is currently leading Group 3. Norris-Jones, who's had an excellent season and a season-long tussle as well with Tom Andrew for Group Championship honours. As we go back to lead the race, and Jim Geddy piling on the pressure on Keith Webster, and I think that Geddy is going to sail past Webster here and take the lead of the race Indeed he does. So Jim Geddy moving into the lead of the race, but for Keith Webster that doesn't matter because Jim Geddy is a Group 1 car and Webster is in Group 2, as is his championship arch rival Marco Pullen, and Webster is still some way ahead of Marco Pullen. So Geddy leading through Luffield. Third place is Daniel Stanley, fourth is Don Grice. Then we have got the Marcos busy holding off Gary Eastwood in the Ferrari, then a bit of a gap back to Justin Sherwood. There's Marco Pullen, and Marco Pullen is recovering very, very well. He's on the tail of Benjamin Harvey now in the KTM Crossbow, so I make that Marco Pullen is something like 5th or 6th in Group 2, so he continues to work his way up the order. And well, this championship is going to go all the way to the checkered flag because Marco Pullen, he just needs to gain every single place that he can as they make their way through Copse in pursuit of the KTM Crossbow. Benjamin Harvey, and Harvey taking a very neat line going through Beckett, so there's nothing that Marco Pullen can do then. Now maybe he'll get a run on the KTM as they make their way down towards Brooklands. Well, here is Keith Webster, who's about to be passed by Gary Eastwood. Or is he? Because Webster holds on around the outside, the car almost on 3 wheels, and Keith Webster superb driving around the outside at Brooklands. That was absolutely brilliant stuff from Keith Webster, keeping Gary Eastwood at bay. And so Keith Webster is really beginning to end his season in style. We go in car with Marco Pullen, and Marco for the moment has got reasonably clear track ahead of him, but he's doing exactly what he needs to do to claim the championship, just closing on the cars in front and staying out of trouble. That's the most important thing of all. As the race leader Jim Geddy makes his way out of Beckett and accelerates down towards Brooklands, and he's already coming up to some of the cars in Group 3 as here's Marco Pullen. Well, from the front it looked like he got clear track. The rear view mirrors I think will tell a somewhat different story because he's got cars crawling around on his tail as out of Luffield goes Jim Geddy, and Geddy has driven absolutely superbly in the second race. The checkered flag goes out and Jim Geddy takes the win. So Geddy takes the win, but who will have claimed the championship? Well, that's the big question. Jim Geddy receives the applause of the crowd, and it's Marco Pullen who is going to come through and be the 2010 GT Cup champion. He comes up to the checkered flag, across line, the arm goes out the window, and Pullen is absolutely delighted with that. Superb drive from him in very challenging circumstances this weekend. A very, very fitting champion for 2010. Well, Jim Geddy claiming the win from Don Grice, an excellent second place from him, and Gary Eastwood a very strong third from what has been a superb season from Gary. Group 1 were the top 3 in the race, so Jim Geddy, Don Grice and Gary Eastwood. Group 2, Keith Webster claiming the group win, Michael Sims second, but Marco Pullen claiming third in the group, and that's enough to give him the championship. Dan Norris-Jones taking the Group 3 win from Tom Andrew and Sarah Bennett-Baggs. Well, the champagne being sprayed on the podium, as well it might be.
First time out in the Ferrari with FF Course, and you get a win. What a fantastic way to end the season.
Yeah, it was good. It was a frustrating weekend. We struggled in qualifying yesterday. I think we were pole till 2 laps to go. Then the track dried up and missed the spot, so we ended up 5th. So a bit of trouble this morning. Forget that one, and just had to go out and win this afternoon. So good steady race. The guys fixed the car with 2 minutes to go. So last minute as usual.
Well, Keith, disappointment in the championship for you. It came so close, but a win at the end of the season. Did that sweeten it at all for you?
Slightly, but you always wonder what could have been. Yeah. And I've worked so hard at this year that it's a huge disappointment for silly mistakes and other people's driving, really, which is what cost me race 1, because I've had the pace all weekend and was very, very confident this morning that I could win both races and maybe get the championship.
There was lots of cars nicely bunched up. Normally I'm like 200 metres back by the time we get over the start line, but we were nicely bunched up, so I was able to get right to the lead within the first few corners, so that was good.
Well, a bad weekend for Alex Martin, but he still is the Group 1 champion for 2010 with Gary Eastwood in second and Daniel Winstanley taking third, just losing out by 1 point. Marco Pullen, champion overall, and taking Group 2 honours from Keith Webster and Michael Simmons, and Tom Andrew, an emphatic Group 3 champion from Dan Norris-Jones and David Bottrell. There's Marco Pullen, who claims the 2010 GT Cup Championship by just 7 points from Keith Webster, with third place going to Alex Martin, Gary Eastwood in fourth and Danny Winstanley fifth. Excellent seasons from all of them.
Well, Alex, what a difficult weekend you've had, but you have come out as Group 1 champion of the GT Cup.
Yeah, it's nice to win the overall, and I did say I wanted to finish the year with a bang, but just not that kind of a bang. A win in the fastest lap would have been nice. I managed to do it all year.
Well, Marco, I am delighted to say you are now officially the first ever GT Cup champion. My goodness, did you have to earn that this weekend?
I made it hard for myself going into the last weekend of the year, but no, played it safe and just had fun, and it was great to take the victory.
And the season as a whole, it seemed to have gone really well for you.
It went well at the start. We had a couple of wins, then we had a few mishaps and a couple of DNFs, so I couldn't afford to lose any points after that for every round. So to qualify 22nd this weekend was just a downer. Last night I was thinking of packing up, putting it all in a lorry and thinking just leave it. But got up this morning, had the drive and just kept going.
Well, it just goes to show how it can all turn around. I mean, it's gone from like you say, thinking I don't know how I'm going to do this, to here you are, the champion.
Thank you. I don't know what else to say other than it's a great championship and all the drivers, great, all gentlemen.
Well, thank you and congratulations, Marco.
Thank you, Charlie.
Cheers. Well, what a way to close the season with two action-packed races here at the home of British motorsport. Congratulations to Marco Pullen, who quite rightly leaves here absolutely delighted to be the very first GT Cup champion. Many of these guys will be back to do it all again next year, and we'll be right here to bring you all of the action. So tune in next spring for the 2011 GT Cup Championship. Goodbye.